My F19, boyfriend's M26, brother M32, is getting creepy and my boyfriend won't stop him. So me and my boyfriend have been dating for about 4 months now. We were long-distance friends for a month before we started dating. We started dating after I moved to his state. His family knew about me before we started dating. He would occasionally hype me up to his family and show them pictures of me with my consent. I finally got introduced to his family at a family barbecue. They're a bunch of fun people. They drink a lot, but they're fun. However, his brother got a bit too wasted at the barbecue. Me, my BF, and him are sitting and drinking on the porch while everyone else is in the yard playing and dancing. He out of nowhere asks, "Hey, did you ever send him a tit pic?" "You should've." My BF just kind of brushes him off, being like, come on, leave her alone. But I'm really uncomfortable that he asked that around the rest of his family. I nervously laugh and ask him, "What? Why would you ask me that?" Apparently my BF had said something along the lines of, "She's got a hot body," to his family while talking about me. I didn't want to be around either of them at the moment, so I got up and went to join his family in the yard. Hyping up my job, personality, or stuff like that is fine, but it feels a bit weird to hype up my hot body to his family. After I went to the yard, that was the end of that convo. Later that night, I try to bring up to my BF that I was uncomfortable with his brother and also ask him about how he's been talking about me to his family. He says he's too tired and to chill out. You're taking a bit too serious. I don't bring it up again. Fast forward to the next time we're all together again, and his brother is acting weird once more. My BF and his dad are doing karaoke while his mom and sister are getting the food ready. I'm sitting on the couch holding my BF's little nephew on my lap. His brother stops singing and plops down next to me. I'm a bit surprised and a little scared by the way he sat down. I try to ignore him, but I suddenly feel a hand rubbing my waist. I whip my head to see that it's his hand. I'm stuck frozen for some reason and ask him what he's doing. He says he was just looking for my phone. Take it easy. I scoot away from him on the couch and avoid him for the rest of the night. Later on, I try to tell my BF what happened. He says that it was probably an accident. He's not that type of guy, that he's just been acting a bit weird since he lost his job and to not pay him much attention. At this point, I'm confused on what I'm supposed to do. I want to hang out with my BF's family, but I don't like the way his brother behaves. I can't tell if I'm overreacting like my BF is saying, or if his brother is making a move. Commenter: I just read a post yesterday about a girl who was assaulted by her BF's buddy after she repeatedly told him his friend was a creep and inappropriate toward her. For your BF, this situation is no big deal. For you, it's a matter of safety. Also, your BF's behavior is concerning. No dude that cares about their, so will objectify them the way your BF is doing to you. There's also the age gap issue. It's pretty common in those relationships for the dude to say you're overreacting and make you feel insecure of your own opinion so he can have his way. This dude and his brother are bad news. I've heard about problems with age gap relationships. I just thought he might have been different. The more I read the comments, the more I feel like he's not as different as I thought. Sad face. Commenter: a good BF would listen to your concerns, validate your feelings, and call out his brother's behavior. Don't go near his brother again. He's already escalating his verbal abuse to touching. The odds are it's going to get worse. Commenter: I take it your boyfriend H said some disturbing things about you to his brother that made him think his comment would be okay with your boyfriend. And judging by your boyfriend's lack of a reaction, he was fine with it. Can't imagine I would ever be okay with my sibling speaking to or about my partner in such a way, and my response would not be as kind as your boyfriend's. That's really the only reason I can think of that would warrant him making comments like that. Update: I took some time to really take the comments to heart and try to understand what everyone has been saying. I think I really underestimated dating an older guy. This whole thing has been draining, and I feel gross about them. I don't think I can deal with him and his brother. And I realize now, after really hearing you guys out, that it's probably best to just break up with him. Update 2 years later. So I'm not sure if anyone cares since it's been a year. But I just wanted to write an update. So I'm now 20. I told my aunt about how my boyfriend and his brother were behaving, and boy did she go mama bear mode, but rightfully so. She ended up getting me to join some women's support groups. My now ex-boyfriend did go ballistic when I broke up with him. He showed up on campus and yelled at me, saying I was an ungrateful bitch, and that all I was good for was being an easy piece of ass. He did get removed from campus grounds for starting a scene, but it was just embarrassing. People heard and saw it, and I didn't know how to react until someone stepped in. I haven't dated since the last situation with my creepy boyfriend. Maybe I'm just a bit paranoid of it happening again. I've learned a lot about healthy relationships from the support groups, but I just worry that I'll find myself on the bad end of another relationship. Recently, a classmate of mine asked me out, and he's a really nice guy, also this time no huge age gap. We study together and occasionally hang out. He's been pretty helpful whenever I don't understand something. I did reject going out with him. I told him I wasn't ready to start dating again yet, and he respected that and hasn't made any moves on me or anything. But I also thought my last boyfriend was nice, and he turned out to be a low-key predator. I don't want to be paranoid and fearful of dating, but I also don't want to accidentally put myself in another situation. How do I handle this? Relevant comments. Commenter: if possible, get therapy to help you deal with the trauma. Unfortunately, no one can ever guarantee you a non-toxic relationship. But the fact that the guy asking you out respected your no is a great sign that he might be a good guy. That don't mean you should start dating him, but if you ask him for a date as friends and talk about why, it could help you with your hesitation. But most important, don't rush to date. You are 20, you have a lot of time to date later. Thank you. I do think I want to give it a try with him. I'll try to work up the courage to let him know the reason of why I'm a bit hesitant. Story 2. Am I overreacting? I want to report my coworker to HR for renaming me. I was assigned to a new project with 2 people from different departments. One of them is a native English speaker woman, Judy, who insists on calling me with an English name. For context, my name is Amiz. It's pronounced as. All the E is like the E in bet, and the S is SH like in shoe. Emeshe. So my name is just 3 sounds and completely pronounceable for an English speaker, and I assume for basically the entire world. Everyone in my job calls me that regardless of their nationality. Judy told me right after introducing myself to her that my name was weird, and she'd call me Emily. I told her no, that's not my name. She giggled, so I thought she was just trying to joke. Well, it's been 3 weeks, and she wasn't joking. She's been calling me Emily ever since. Every single time, I tell her that's not my name, and stop calling me that. I asked her in a normal tone several times, but she just rolls her eyes every time. By last week I was fuming inside, and today I lost all my patience, and I told her I am not going to be anglicized or turn into anything else. Renaming people and taking away their names is humiliating. She became very arrogant, and she started telling me I have no sense of humor and I am playing victim to make her look like a bad person, and it's not that deep, and I create a toxic environment. And finished her rage by calling me Emily in a bratty tone and sent me an email and called me Emily again after work. I am planning on reporting her to the HR tomorrow morning. The other coworker got mad at me and expects me to not report her since we worked on this project for 3 weeks already and HR might replace her, and I am causing difficulties with the report. The project is going to end in 3 months, so I don't think this 3 weeks is crucial at all. But this has been going on for 3 freaking weeks. She never once called me by my real name, and I will not let anyone just disrespect me and my identity for weeks for absolutely no reason. Is this really something minor? Should I really not report her? I think she really crossed the line. Am I overreacting? Edit. I didn't expect this to blow up. I appreciate all of you who gave me advice and expressed empathy. I talked to HR. I am going to write an update in a few days. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Nope, she's completely toxic, and this should have been sorted in the first week. Get everything down in an email, including all the details of you trying to sort it, and send it. We only need to meet in person 1 to 3 times a week. That's why I waited until now. I gave her the benefit of the doubt that she just feels awkward about it, and tries to make a joke and will call me eventually by my name. Commenter 2 and report her. I'll be the first to admit that I have trouble with people's names. I have a crappy memory for names to start with, and I grew up in a white bread suburb where everyone was named Billy or Sally. But at least I try to get pronunciations correct, and I will tell people to correct me if I'm not getting it right. This lady isn't even trying, and it's not like your name is a tongue twister. My only hesitancy is that sometimes HR can be, well, not your friend. Most HR people in departments are fine and will help, but I've worked in a few places where complaining to HR about anything was the surest way to get yourself onto the naughty list. Have you talked to your supervisor or manager yet? Do they have a recommendation? I work in a research institute. We only have one department that handles these kinds of issues, so it's kinds different than the regular HR. Commenter 3. Absolutely report her. This is bullying and possibly racist mistreatment of you by Judy. She deserves to be disciplined, as this is probably not the first time she has acted in an unprofessional way with another coworker, and if someone doesn't intercede, it will not be the last. Does your job want that liability for Judy's behavior? You should not have to work with someone who makes you uncomfortable in any fashion, and this is pretty egregious. Good luck to you. Standing up for yourself is hard, but worth it. Thank you. Yes, she is quite notorious here for being rude. Ich open the US. should move forward and report the issue to HR. I am not in the US, but I'm sure we have the same system at my job. And thank you, I've never reported anyone, and so I was having doubts about this. Update, 3 days later. Many of you asked for an update, so here it is. I'd also like to address some questions which were asked in the comment section. 1. I do research for an institute, so we don't have the usual company system here. So I don't have a manager. We have small departments with a lead scientist who assigns tasks to us. We only have one department which is similar to HR, so if we have issues, we report to them directly. 2. I waited 3 weeks because we don't meet every day. I truly didn't believe she was serious about renaming me. I thought she'd just need a few occasions, but would eventually call me by my name like any decent person would. 3. She doesn't have any speech impediments or anything like that. She bluntly told me she'd call me Emily because she thinks my name is weird. Well, I reported her to HR. At first, I could feel they didn't take it seriously. Based on what they were saying, I am sure they thought Judy was just mixing up the names by accident, but I insisted she was doing it deliberately and condescendingly, so they asked if I wanted them to write her a formal note, or if I was willing to discuss it in person with her to solve it that way. I agreed to that, so they arranged a meeting for the 4 of us. In the meeting, I told her what my issue was, but she just started turning red and refused to answer me or even look at me. After this, HR took control of the conversation. HR, is there anything which causes difficulties for you to pronounce her name? Judy, I just don't like to say it. It sounds strange, and it breaks the flow of English. HR, it really isn't a difficult name, takes the same effort as saying Emily. This is her name, and she should be addressed by it. This is an international environment. Everyone needs to be considerate of everyone. Judy, yeah, that's why she needs to be considerate of me. Some people pick English names for themselves in an international environment if they have foreign names. Why can't she just do that? It's not that deep. She needs to do that if she is in an international environment. HR, no, she doesn't need to. You need to call her by her name. It's a completely neutral name. And you don't get to tell foreigners to change their names to another language. Judy, oh, I thought everyone needs to be considerate, but it sounds like it's only me who needs to be considerate. HR, calling someone by their name is the most basic decency. You are making this difficult for absolutely no reason. You can act disrespectfully outside of work, that's up to you, but this is a professional environment. There are rules here. You can't disrespect your colleagues. Judy, in a professional environment, she also needs to respect me and act professionally and accommodate those who don't speak her language. They had a little back and forth, basically repeating the same things. Judy was in full rage mode after she realized HR was not on her side. She became condescending to HR too. She pissed off everyone, acted like a lunatic, and had a breakdown to the level where I think she might have mental issues. Since she refused to cooperate, they wrote her a formal warning and talked to the leader of her department, who assigned her to the project. They removed her from the position and was sent to the lab to do background work, and another woman replaced her, which is a huge downgrade for her. It's an entry-level task, so she was not happy from what I've heard. A woman who also works with her team messaged me on FB and spilled some more tea. She told me everyone was cheering when they found out I reported her. She has been at the Institute for 18 years, and she has the worst attitude, rude, entitled, and bitter. She was training the newcomers 10 years ago, but was replaced by someone because she was terrorizing them. Also, she confirmed Judy is extremely xenophobic. She hates everything from other cultures, including language, foods, traditions, customs, and clothes. Everything is stupid if it's foreign. Especially hates poor countries because they immigrate instead of solving their issues at home, and they're stupid and have peasant food, her exact words at a Christmas party after 4 vodka tonic circa 2017. This is some peak audacity considering she is an immigrant here too. Her son also cut her off because he married a foreigner, and she couldn't accept it. The lady said they were sure one day she would have an issue because of this, so they were not surprised by what she did. She also said lately it became obvious she can't accept aging, and she started becoming extremely rude towards women who are younger than her, so I was everything she despises in a person, a young woman who eats peasant foods. Apart from removing her 10 years ago from the trainer positions, this was her first report, so she just got downgraded. I really didn't think this would escalate the way it did. I thought she would just get offended and let it go, but she really didn't help her case with insulting HR. Thank you everyone who commented. You are all truly kind. 3. Except the man who insulted my Hungarian parents for giving a Hungarian name to their Hungarian child. This is some serious Judy level. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Good for you for standing up to a bully. Well done. P.S. Sad that you were the first to stand up to her in 18 years. I can only imagine the damage she's done over the years. OP. Thank you. Yes, I agree. Unfortunately, it's still common for academic professionals to get away with being rude if they are very good in their job and have a name in that field. People fresh out of university don't want to risk losing the opportunity, and the seniors get comfortable because of their position. Commenter 2. Every time someone like you stands up for yourself, that makes it easier for other people to stand up for themselves. And that makes society as a whole realize that there are certain ways that are not acceptable to treat other people. So thanks for making the world better. OP. Thank you so much. I was very shy all my childhood. I work a lot on to be able to stand up for myself, so I appreciate this so much pleading face. Commenter 3. I'm so happy for you, and so glad you reported her. I can't even imagine doubling down like that with HR. Well, that was more like quadrupling down. It's good to see someone get their comeuppance. You rock. OP. Yeah, she really ruined it with that. She became very arrogant towards them and said something very condescending about how much F she doesn't give about what they think when she is a scientist and they are just HR employees. Story 3. My ex turned up last night drunk. Tomorrow is his wedding day. Should I tell his soon-to-be wife? I was with my ex for 2 years. It was not the best relationship, and we broke up because I moved for uni and just didn't want to be with him anymore. It has been almost 5 years since we broke up, and I am engaged to be married with my fiancé, who is absolutely my soulmate. Yesterday evening at around 22 o'clock, he rang our doorbell drunk. His bachelor party was in the city I live in, and he came to see me. When my fiancé opened the door, my ex just started sobbing, saying that he couldn't believe my fiancé, was real or some BS like that. We took him into the apartment because he didn't look dangerous, and he just vocally vomited before he actually vomited in our bath. What I could gather is that he was still very hurt because our breakup, that he thinks that we could have made it work, and he regrets treating me badly. He then threw up again and called an Uber to his hotel. It was very surreal. He was fine. We fed him waffles and Sif to sober up and told him to write us when he was in his hotel to make sure he didn't die or something. I was left with a weird feeling. Almost dirty. I am thinking of contacting his soon-to-be wife? Or should I call him to encourage him to tell that to his fiancée? Or should I not do anything and let this just be an anecdote for my future? Relevant comments. Commenter. Put yourself in his wife's shoes. Would you want to sign your life away to this person? I guess I would want to know, but I also would prefer my partner to tell me that. Commenter. But would he tell her? By telling her yourself, you risk not being believed or coming across as petty, but at least you know someone tried to warn her. Edit. Thanks for all the feedback. It seems like Reddit is as split on this as I am LOL. Just because this kept coming up. My main goal with telling her is not for them to break up. I don't want that, and that's not why I would want to tell her. The reason for me telling her is solely that I would want to know if I was her. Nothing else. It's also not me bragging about him not being over me. That's not something I care about, and wonder how some of you twisted it into that. Also, a tiny update. I decided that contacting the bride was the wrong move because we are not friends. However, I send his sister, an old friend of mine, a message basically saying to talk to her brother because he appeared at my door drunk and distressed and to make sure he was okay. She thanked me for the massage and apologized profusely because my ex has been apparently acting a fool for a few weeks now leading up to his wedding. She asked me if I was okay and if her brother had gone back to the hotel room because they couldn't find him. I told her he had Ubered home and had written us that he had arrived in his room at around 11:30 p.m. She thanked me again, and I haven't heard from her since. Another update. His sister called me again to ask me if he had come by or said anything about his whereabouts. Apparently, he didn't show for the wedding, and no one knows where he is. So me telling the fiancé is now obsolete. Relevant comments. Commenter. You and your fiancé handled every bit of this as graciously as anyone could expect. Contacting his sister was the best move you could have made. Commenter. Oh damn, he ran out on the wedding? That girl dodged a major bullet. Commenter. Holy shit, the edits. I hope he's okay. Please update us if they find him. Update 1, 10 days later. I'm updating because I still get a lot of questions. Long story short, he bailed. He decided he did not want to commit to his fiancée, bailed, and days later called to break off the engagement. Bit more details. After his sister and I talked, my ex's fiancée reached out and was kinda mad. The best man had told her he went to see me. At first, she was convinced we had sex, so that took a bit of talking. I felt sorry. She was very distraught. She apologized, I apologized, and told her I wished her the best. Saturday, I received a call from the sister. Apparently, ex reappeared. He went all the way to France. His sister called me to apologize because my ex had stolen one of my lipsticks. I honestly had not noticed, but my ex admitted it to her. She PayPal'd me the money to buy myself a new one. I said I was not mad and asked her how she was and how his ex-fiancée was. On their end, everything is a mess. Everyone is mad at him. I don't know many more details and was kinda not willing to ask. But yeah, that's it. Relevant comments. Commenter. He stole. A lipstick? A lipstick? What? Who does that? It's so bizarre it's funny. Stealing a lipstick of all things. And then his sister PayPaling you for it. Thanks for the laugh. Our guess is that he just grabs the first thing he knew was mine, that was small enough to fit in his pocket.